welcome everyone to game number 2 between Luca in the blue, a semi-pro player around 2K, and in the yellow, T90 Official, a very well-known streamer and YouTube caster. So this is game number 2 in a set of 3 games these two played this week. And so in the yellow we have T90 again, playing as the Slavs. Good civ. Quality choice for Arabia. They're playing on random civs, I believe. And I think this is just standard Arabia, so your sheep are a little bit further away than some of the other versions. And there we go. We got some chat going on right now. Let's see what was said. Luke said boo. And then, I like your civ better if you found sheep. And Luke said big if there, if not, 24. Which is referring to Chinese. So, Lucas starts with Chinese. He built one house, which is all you really want to build with Chinese. They start with 6 villagers, but 0 food. So you have to get food as quickly as possible under your TC and start gathering it. So he has 7 villagers all collecting food before he's going to send the 8th one out to what it looks like. Normally you start with 6 on sheep, but Luke is teaching me a little extra lesson here, free of charge, that with Chinese you want to build one house and then put everyone else on sheep. And he also did get loom right away since he didn't have the food to get his TC to do anything else. So Luca could have fooled T90 into thinking that he didn't have any sheep and he might be behind, but T90 won't be too fooled considering he can see the score with Luca ahead. So Luca will likely be up to the feudal age with a few more vills than you'd expect for a standard whatever build order he's going for. He'll probably have a few more vills than standard. And he's found just about all his sheep, I believe. And now he's going to go ahead and bring in his deer. Deer trying to troll him a little bit, but he doesn't let that get to him. And he's going to get his first boar as well. T90 Official is doing the same. Getting that deer in, getting that boar in. Both playing very similar to each other and very similar to last game as well. In terms of maps, T90's got a great map once again. This is probably closed off on this side. His gold is a bit rough, same with his stone, but it is on the far side forward, as in it's not up here in the front. Even if it was, I mean this wall off, just too easy. Oh wait, this is Luca's base. What am I talking about? T90. T90's. Do they switch? Why are my hotkeys not working? Oh, I'm not pressing the right hotkey. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, T90's base in this game is quite a bit worse. If this woodline goes all the way, it might be a little bit easier to wall off. He's checking right now. Getting a second boar. Yeah, not a terrible. And look at that. He's using a scout to delay the boar a little bit so that his villager doesn't get as many hits. Pretty solid play from both of them. Sandy already walling off the backside, but really what you should be worried about is this hill up here. And we'll see how that plays out. Slavs are generally going to make a lot of farms. We got 3 on wood, so we'll likely be going scouts. Luca, 3 on wood as well, scouts as well. Walling up right here, trying to keep that gold within the maybe not full walls, maybe full walls, but he's going to build right here. And they're asking if there's a lame. Can T90 if not? No, he has both of his boars. What is he looking for? Oh, he's looking for his extra sheep, I think. And Luca responds, not MBL. MBL being another pro player known for stealing resources from the other players even when it's a friendly. It's just something that he's very good at. So Luca has 2 more villagers queued. 20 villagers would generally be the build order for most civs going scouts. But because he started with more villagers, he does need a bit more time to... why is this? He does need a bit more time to finish. Is this walled? I guess it is. It's just that palisade didn't form the end, but okay. As I was saying, he still needs the time to collect all his resources, even if he has the number of villagers that you would normally use to click at that. So 290 is about 1 vil ahead of Luca in feudal time. 2 lumber camps for Luca, and 2 as well for 290. The builds are looking very similar. 5 on one, 5 on the other. And then Luca has 4 on one, 5 on the other. Very similar. Still has sheep under the TC. Still has sheep under the TC. 2 farms, 0 farms. So I think 290 might have been missing 1 sheep. He's going forward to build a barracks, making sure to keep this hill as safe as possible, as controlled as possible. He even repositioned the barracks once just because he wasn't quite happy with it. Figured he could get a little bit more safety. I almost thought he was going to go here and use the cliffs. There we go, 290 up a little bit sooner. Gonna make that stable right away afterwards, and getting double bid axe, so he has some economical advantage over Luca, as well as horsepower. That would make sense, being Slavs. He's planning on making a boatload of farms as soon as he has the wood. All wood that he has afterwards. And now he's asking Luca if he's fully walled, and Luca is just playing dumb. Some interesting banter between the 2 of them. As I mentioned in game 1, they have played against each other multiple times, and Luca loves telling people that they're not speaking proper English. And he will likely get a villager kill here. Oh no, another scout comes in just in time. So military is, this is Luca's starting scout. He doesn't have another scout out quite yet. And he is making it out, however. So the difficult part for T90 is he doesn't see Luca creating any villagers, or sorry, any scouts. There's no flag yet up here. But now he sees that Luca is creating some. So it's hard to tell if your opponent is going for a fast castle strategy and not making any units and just walling up, or if your opponent is actually going to make units and you need to prepare for them by creating your own units at home. So Luca did invest more wood by walling up earlier. 290 is going to be able to create more farms. And these are Slav farms, so the farmers are farming even faster than normal farmers. You're getting that food income very quickly, but you're also using a lot of wood creating those farms, because those farms aren't any cheaper like Teuton farms would be. They're just as expensive as everyone else's farms. So how many farmers do we have already? 10 farmers. And 4 on berries. So Zico's pretty much exactly where you want it to be already before you get up to castle. And I can send the next couple of people to gold. And yeah, solid build from T90. Not getting a ton of pressure, but also not taking any either. Pretty even. Luca is a little bit behind, but not significantly. I'm not going to try to call the game here anything. Mining camp location's pretty good. Left himself just enough space with the houses to get a good mining camp in there. 3 miners on gold for him, and for T90 it is also going to be 3 on gold already. I think T90 might have an extra spear. He has 4 scouts, and Does Luca have a spear at home? I'm not sure where the extra military is. Some 4 and 6, never mind, that makes a lot of sense. So Luca can't really engage here. Tonight's doing a good job of holding this choke point until he can fully wall off. And Luca doesn't want to engage. He is ahead with his wheelbarrow, however. So he might be clicking up before T90. Won't make a huge difference. Right now their builds are almost identical. And if anything, the only real difference between civs is the Slav farming bonus at this point. Now as far as what's going to happen in Castle Age, I'm not entirely sure. Slavs can transition to infantry and siege eventually. That's generally their imperial bonus. I don't think they'll switch that early castle though. As we can see, Luca's out here scouting the map. T90 decided to scout as well. Both of them know they're not really going to engage. Both of them know they're walled up. I think they even made a wall here before he realized it was completely walled already. And he's up to castle. Or he's clicking. He did click castle later, so even though he went for a handcart a bit earlier, he wasn't able to click up right away. And he is making archer ranges that are going to be hidden from T90. So we can see it switch into archers. He's already creating them. Once he gets the golden, he'll be creating more. Meanwhile, T90 is going for another stable, so it'll likely be knights from him. Yep, he's getting bloodlines. Luca made sure to get his upgrades. I don't think T90 got his gold mining upgrades, but he did get his farm, his horse collar earlier. So pretty even. Slavs is who I'd give the edge to right now. Score indicates Luca, mainly because of his archers, I believe, just having a little bit more military presence. You guys are doing a great job controlling the units, really not losing anything. We've got 0 kills from both of them at this point. And Luca's guessing camel. Oh, he was saying camels are better than knights, but he missed where the S was placed. So they're trying to guess what each other is going. And yeah, it's tricky. They're both kind of hiding what they're doing. But I think that Luca might have seen that T90's scouts have bloodlines. And will he see the siege workshop going up? And now, yeah, they both know what each other's going. Luca's trying to play him out a little bit, maybe delaying a little bit. And the timing of these archers, if they had been a little bit earlier, I could have picked off that villager. And now, the crucial battle, we will have early castle control. Trying to pick off that vill. Not quite in time. And Luca as no. I think Luca knew to have the camels ready, but is he gonna get the villager? Another spear coming in. Spear's gonna go after the camel, but he realized he has to go for the knight because otherwise the knight's just gonna clean up his crossbows. So he does have 2 more camels, or those are calves. So I would prefer. This guy's just going to his gather point. I think I would prefer the knight. Would I prefer knight spearman combo versus camels archer? I mean, you're spending less gold and you're making use of the Slav bonus of farming. And the archers can be really weak if they're left on their own. And a knight gets in there. Knights can, you know, the difference between a knight and a crossbowman is much more exaggerated in terms of HP versus a knight and a camel. Camels definitely get a bonus against knights, but you have maybe 3 or 4 more knights, it could still be somewhat of a close battle. So here, T9 sorry, I keep saying T9 I said that in game 1. Something about casting late at night does that to me. 6 knights. Luca's gonna have to commit to quite a few knights, or sorry, a few camels as well. And we have a Mangonel. Will he I'd be a little bit worried if I was Luca. I'd try to split up the crossbowmen if I could think about it. Just gated in his own. Quick gated himself. That's alright. Yeah, because this guy's stuck over here in his gold mine. A little bit rough having gold up against the wood line like that. And he does need to push out, I think, to this other one if he wants optimal gold control. Where is this third? Oh, right. And this is kind of a not. Yeah, I think that's considered a bug gold. You can only reach 2 of them. So I said Luca had the better map, but as far as golds go, it's not looking perfect for him right now. And T9 is only 1 TC. You can kind of do that with Slav just because you create so many farms and you get up to Imperial Age just as fast. You just concentrate on your knight production and your barracks. Only using 1 stable right now to create his his knights. Sorry, 1 stable to create his knights. He's got a monk going forward, heal his units, and convert enemy camels. Siege Workshop's looking awfully low though. That's the question. Will he be able to clean off the Siege Workshop before that Mangonel comes out? That's gonna be awfully tight. I think I would commit to it knowing how low that is. But he doesn't want to give anything converted. And there we go, Siege Workshop. 64 out of 1800. If you can pick off the monk with the light tab, yeah, he's going for it. And I said I'd seen game 3 before. It was actually this game that I'd seen. I remember seeing this still, Siege Workshop, no help. And I just loved watching this fight. Because it seemed like at this point, T9 definitely had control of the hill. But he brought his crossbows back, so he still has the crossbow numbers. And he just needs a couple more camels to come out to get back in it, and just to clean up those Mangonels so that he can pull out his archers, or sorry, his crossbows a bit more. As far as bills go, Luca is 10 ahead, which makes sense considering he has the 2 TCs. So he's going to stick with 1, and he's probably going to get to Imperial faster, I'd imagine, since he's not producing as much. Oh, there's the 2nd TC against the wood line. And 3rd TC. So he just wanted to take map control first, and then he went for TCs afterwards. 2nd monastery, interesting. Learning from these players as well as watching them, casting them. Quite a few units in this gold, just not giving T90 any favors. Kind of giving away a nice 3 there. And Luca just bought 1,000 food. So, is that right? Was it for all his TCs? I think he didn't have enough farms for his TCs. Because he didn't go with the upgrades, and the stables have just as many. He's not producing that many more camels, so interesting choice. T90 doesn't seem to be doing too much with his Mangonels, but then again, there's so many wood lines here that he doesn't want to get trapped anywhere. Luca's happy to just be out here, and he finally realized. That's why I was wondering why he made this mining camp so far away when I was watching this game earlier. And the reason was he was just having so much trouble with the pathing of units right in between his gold miners. Luca's got his own Mangonel out. Really would just want to watch him just take out that Siege Workshop. I don't know why that bothered me so much, but it bothered me a lot when I was watching it earlier as well today. Seville numbers are coming back for T90 a little bit. He's only 9 bills behind instead of 10. He does have, I guess they're on Eagle Town Centers right now. 3 for each. Luca's going for stone now, so could get a castle in his near future, or collecting to be able to go for another town center. Though I doubt that. It'll likely be Chukinu and okay, what's gonna go with the Mangonel? No Mangonel hits. Kills. And we do know that he'll consider. Oh, look at that. Beautiful long shot from Mangonel. And will get the conversion. He does. Lucky conversion there. But Camel goes down right away for against the crossbows right with Fear Slimer. And Luca gives a boo in the chat. T90 is now on attack ground right here on this hill. It's kind of a leftover attack ground. By concentrating back on his eco. And he stops it. Really stopped it? It's really about who controls this hill. It seems like such a small little area that they're fighting over. I don't know. It's really funny looking to me. But it actually does have quite a few tiles, especially on the backside, that you just don't see the angle the game plays at. And here, Luca realizes, I think right after shooting that if he had completed his Mangonel, it would have created the normal amount of damage, but since he was firing from downhill, there was a lessened amount of damage. Getting his builds on there right at the perfect time. Because when you're firing uphill, both for Mangonels and for archers and any ranged unit, you do less damage when you're firing uphill, but it's only calculated. You see that? You did the full damage. It's only calculated when the shot lands, and if your unit is dead when the shot lands, then it's calculated. It's not taking the position of the unit into consideration. Now Luca definitely has, I think, the numbers versus his back. T90 seems to have been limited. What I really noticed though is Luca's really been paying attention to the fight because his wood numbers are again really high. And he really should be turning it into farms. Though he does have quite a few farms as well. And Siege Workshop did get repaired a little bit. Ooh, juicy shot. That's important for Luca. And if he had just taken care of that Siege Workshop a little bit earlier, they would have been gone. And he says boo again for another big shot. And with pleasure after that. Or well played. Always gets me. WP. Well played with pleasure. So he's not calling it yet. Tina gives a thank you. You can see they're civil, despite how Luca acts when we're playing tournament games. He can get in people's head. He does a good job at that. Bill count's almost even now. T90 did take the advantage of his extra. Did he have extra TC? He did not, but Luca was having. Oh, he does have an extra TC out here. Oh my god. Luca was having some food issues, and he's thinking of coming back now that he finally took back his hill. Thinking of coming back and counterattacking. And they're both up to the Imperial Age, and Luca's actually first. I was not expecting that, but T90 did go for the extra economic approach as Slavs. And it's really hard to fight against Slavs at this point when they have all that extra eco. How how many farmers does T90 have now? 33 farmers. I mean, you can just see his food count climbing. And he's gonna go for light cav, so he's thinking of raiding. And Luca is fairly open on this gold, so not a terrible option. Even with Luca's gold, or with his camels, if he's just having to follow all the light cav around, it's going to allow the knights to push forward, and if Luca's going to go with two canoes against the knights, they'll do alright, but knights do have a decent amount of Pyrrhus armor, especially once you're up to the age. And Luca's just not going to have too much to push forward with an attack. He's not going to have much to raid with. Crossbows are fairly slow, and again, if they're against knights or cavalier in the Imperial Age, it's going to be difficult for Luca, especially with the number of TCs that T90 has. And there we go, Luca didn't get any nasty conversion this time. That is a lot of pikemen, so you can see T90 slowly making that switch into a bit more infantry, a bit more siege. He's probably going to stick with the knights still for a little bit, but he has them on do not fight stance. He's going to clean up all this stuff very easily. And Luke is up first. The Imperial Age. You can see the Chuknu's out, just taking this hill and controlled with the castle. Good play there. But it's really about how is his unit composition going to be able to control golds and kind of push against T90. Let's see, how many relics does T90 have? He has 3 and Luca has 1. Last one remaining is out here. Is it? And they're both trying to TC this. And Luca has Bracer, so T90 probably doesn't want to stay under this TC. But he might go for it anyways and just fight it. No, no, he's just reflecting all his units underneath. Yeah, he doesn't have plate barding yet, so he will lose quite a few units. But with the pikemen there to reinforce against the camels, I think he'll take the fight. He needs to bring his archers as well. It's funny having, after all of that time spent on this hill, the fight just moved to this spot where both of them wanted to take over. And I think it makes sense for Luca just to kind of sit back, not try to engage against the pikemen, pick off the reinforcements, the villagers, and wait for his archers to arrive. And what I want to see is what siege Luca decides for as Chinese. They do get quite a few options, but kind of ironic they don't get the chemistry options that they've done before. Luca does save his TC, so well done there. He needs to get all the halberdiers down, and he does, and he's going to mop up his head, no problem. Getting heavy camel now as well as Arbalest, so he might be going Arbalest and Shukanu, which makes sense. I mean, you might as well make use of all the production buildings you have. It is a bit expensive just getting the upgrades, but Chinese do get cheaper upgrades. So he's, at least for now, controlling this gold, which is pretty good for him. And T90, just like game 1, is just walling up even more. And it's interesting learning a little bit about T90's gameplay, because it's not something, you know, most of us have seen that often. I mean, all I know about T90 is his beautiful farms. I know more about his farms than his playstyle. The same way I know more about his fish preference than his sim preference. More archery ranges in the front. And chemistry coming in for Luca. So we go fully upgraded Arbalest. And Shuknu probably won't get fully upgraded anytime soon because, you know, those elite unique unit upgrades are expensive. This composition isn't looking too bad, but if T90 keeps doing the wall ups and controlling with units and castles, it's going to be difficult for Luca to push. Where they're building castles. Luca's going to build a castle here, somewhat controlling this gold. And he's building a castle all the way over there. I guess he's thinking about shoving here. I think I would have put it in front of this stone. So you don't have to tap through the town center. A little bit of a premature attack there by what looks like one of the halberdiers. He just got ripped apart by arrows raining from the sky. Hussar, I believe, are fully upgraded for T90, maybe just missing the last attack upgrade. And they're probably ready to go raid this gold. I think that's exactly where they're going. I think they can do it. Whereas Luca, I'm not sure what he's waiting for. Maybe just all his upgrades. Look at that, he's already raiding with Hussar in Luca's base. Luca reacts to it. No, Hussar's not going to be around for very long. In terms of build counts, T90's ahead by 20. Doesn't make too much of a difference at this point. And I'm kind of curious to see why the stall here. I guess Luca just doesn't know where to engage. Killing off the deer. Oh, very nice move. Must have done something that I missed. So Luca's gonna try to engage here. One big ball. Has a decent amount of weak units, considering it's just starting the engagement. But kind of forcing Luca to come back. He does have Onager and Halberdier. He could get some very juicy shots. Luca doesn't want to engage there. He sees the town center. His entire army here will get shredded by any arrows that come at him. He needs siege ram or something in front to kind of help him. And now he's making another castle here. He's going to control this gold. It's hard for Luca to do too much with his composition. He can send a few units around, hit the wood lines that are exposed. I don't know how long that'll last though. I wouldn't mind seeing him wall this. I think that would do quite a bit for him. But really what I'm wondering is what siege he wants to go for him. By siege blockade. Yes. 3 siege workshops. He's going for siege ram. But look at that. Siege Onager on the way for T90. He's just trying to flex on Luca at this point. It's like, look at me, I can cut trees. I'm sure T90's feeling pretty well. He's got a decent score advantage, not a huge one. And he's raiding all over the place. They're both at 200 pop. So it's really about who's going to be able to engage, how well their upgrades are. The thing with Luca is he kind of has to have a lot of units just sitting back in his base to deal with the Hussars that keep raiding him. T90's doing a great job with that. He's not investing a large amount of population, but he's holding back Luca a lot. And he is getting this castle down. Castle position right there. Not giving T90 the gold for free. So that's really where the fight is right now. This is just kind of a, I don't know what to call it, a secondary fight. It is an expensive fight for both of them, the Siege Onagers, the heavy camels, the archers, but it's not really doing much. And here he's trying to put the siege unprotected. It's a bit difficult to do. But now, he could push in with those light cavalry, and he's going to lead Chikunu. So it's going to be really nice for Luca. Finally got the eco to get up to Elite Chikunu. Just kind of regrouping a little bit. At this point, the game still can go either way. I still prefer 290, just because it seems like he has more map control. He does have these extra golds, even though Luca's still giving him a hard time for it. He does have it, and then the composition. Luca doesn't really have what it takes to raid in. Look at that, 290 cutting holes in the walls, or in the wood lines. So these wood lines that I mentioned at the beginning of the game, that can be very useful to Luca, just a farm to kind of cut it. 299 making production buildings moving forward. So if he wants, he can send units straight from here into Luca's base to raid. When you're at a population cap like this, it makes sense to replace your units as quickly as possible once they go down. And considering Luca knows that 290's army is a little bit slower with the infantry and the siege, I'm kind of surprised he doesn't try to take out some of these production buildings and then fall back again. Kind of do the same thing that 290 is doing to him, except actually use some siege as well. Luca needs to patrol with these guys, and this is where the fight's coming. And 290 still has the hill. He needs to get some good shots on the siege. Luca needs to get some big shots on the siege, and doesn't quite have it. He somehow needs to get in on the siege, in between the production buildings. How the halberdiers killing off his units first before. Yeah, that's how the halberdiers coming in. But he can't really get his archers too close because the siege as well. So very tricky balance, which is why I prefer to be in 290's position. He doesn't need to attack down because he's darker. He just needs to place them in an area that is protected by the halberdier, like this wonderful hill where he gets extra damage. And you just watch Luca's numbers melt. That crazy siege on into range. Not even crazy on and the moving population, Luca's now at 140, 290 at 188. He's almost at full population still. Lost almost all of his siege. What you can do. 290's even sending in some Hussars. Has to path him around here now. Do all this up. Let's go to Luca. But now he's even losing his castle, so he wasn't even able to push 290 off his gold. Unfortunate for him. So like I said before, it's really up to the civ composition and seeing what they can do. Luca's selling res now for gold. I think he's entirely out of gold. And so he's going to have to try to push here on the right side. He can't take the hill because he knows there's a tread right here. So as soon as he put down a foundation there, it would go down, and look at that. 290's going to cut through the forest, go around the wall, and then raid again. He doesn't need to get off this hill. That's the big thing. He doesn't need it to let go of this hill and look to push forward. He can just take other units and push around here and raid. Map control. You control the golds. Fairly small army with a lot of power with these siege armies and then use the rest of the Hussars with all the food he's getting from all his farms to raid around the sides. I mean, look at these. 290's known for his farms, but look at these farms from Luca. I mean, this is just what happens when you just farm for a game. Yeah, it's getting late. I'm talking, but I mean, this is a screenshot, right? This is a video screenshot right here. Get some black for the text in the background. How good is T9? Is it really him winning, or is it a civ win? I mean, if you saw game 1, I can give you a little bit of an answer. No spoilers in case you're watching this out of order. I'm kind of curious as to why 290 hasn't done chemistry yet. As you can see, Luca's shots are red glowing. It might be you should watch the Spirit of the Law video, where it showed that siege onagers with chemistry fire slightly slower. The shots firing out as soon as possible. Even Halberdier is raiding now. Luca all over his base. He has to just pull back. Siege ram on the sides. I think at this point you can call it. Luca's all out of gold. He's playing much slower. He's keeping all his army grouped up. Just trying to. I mean, it looks like he's playing slower, but I think in reality it's just he has to do so much at once to deal with all these units coming at him. He has to try to fight the siege rams with villagers because these Chuknus, even elite Chuknus, aren't going to do the damage necessary. Wouldn't do too much good walling up again because the siege onagers can just roll up from one of these siege workshops and cut around the trees again. And maybe tonight he's going to go Paladin just to flex on Luca and say, you know what, Luca, I still have plenty of gold. He's making up 2k gold, 2k food. He's not too worried. It's just about raiding Luca. He does have a little bit gold back here. Maybe that's what he's waiting out for. Against 290. And that was pretty nice. I mean, if you throw in light cab, I think this is what he should have done. Just throw in little troops of light cab. And he only does it now that he's ready to call the GG. It's a great game from the both of them. I think in the end it came down to Civ. At the beginning they weren't engaging too much. In Feudal Age we saw the kind of the stalemate right around here as T90 was finishing his wall off. They were up about the same time. Castle Age, Camels versus Knights, the Knights and Pikes, and then the fight over the hill and the Siege Workshop. That, I mean, this looks so much different. The Siege Workshop was, what, right here, yeah, because the wood line was right here. Siege Workshop was right here, and they were just fighting over the hill, and the Siege Workshop that just would not quit. Got some good hits against against Luca's forces. And then the Slav Eco, I think, is the MVP of the game.